Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. All right, so if you've listened to my podcasts for any particular time or hung out on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for being here. You also know that I typically sign off with "Be you because the world needs more of you," right? Now, I don't know exactly when this phrase came to me, but it did come to me several years ago when I first started my coaching business as the overjoyed mom. And I just got convicted at the end of that last episode that I wasn't being enough of me. And that kind of hurt a little bit, but I definitely see it as in not necessarily like I'm faking it, but I'm not necessarily bringing everybody in. It's definitely a protective mechanism where if I show people too much of me, then I feel like I would be too much for people. And it's a vulnerability thing. It is 100% a protection thing. And I'm sharing this with you now in live time as I process this because I am being nudged to be a bit more visible. I did on the last episode, I talked about a video that I had that went viral on Instagram. I definitely had like a little bit of an identity crisis with it, but that's all right. It's fine. It happens. It's part of the growth process. And so at the end of that episode, when I just finished recording it, I got a little nudge that said, "Be you, actually be you." And so here we are. We're just going to have a conversation. I have no idea where this conversation is going to go, but this is where we're at. You're probably going to get some stream of consciousness, some silliness, some, I don't even know, but it's going to come through. So it's going to be probably one of those life update things that I share with you guys because that seems to be the easiest thing. So a little bit of a life update. Life was cray-cray yesterday. I was so grateful for my oldest daughter being able to hang out with my little daughters, my younger daughters, the girls to hang out yesterday because I had to do all of the things. I had a lot on my plate yesterday, not in terms of like to-do tasks, but destinations. There was a lot that we were doing for the real estate side of life, our real estate business. And I had to do it all. My husband was traveling this week, and so I had to take on the role of all of those things. And it was initially daunting. And then I realized, you know what, my kids are safe at home. My son is traveling with his best friend, and it's okay. I have the flexibility to be able to do this and still run my business. When my business phone rang, I was able to coordinate all of that. And so I was very grateful for it. And then I got home. I was able to play in the garden for a little bit. And by play in the garden, I mean I picked a crap ton of vegetables, and I'm not entirely sure what to do with all of it. But that's all right. We have them. I'm excited about them. Probably going to have to give a bunch of them away, but that's okay. Actually, I love that. Cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, jalapenos, eggplant, cucumbers, peppers. What else did I pick yesterday? Green beans. We had green beans for dinner, with our dinner. And it was really nice. It was a good day. It was full, but it was a good day. And I was in the car a bunch, way more than I really cared to be. But I saw a couple of properties, checked boxes off of our current properties that we're flipping, and it was a full day, but it was a good day. And I went to bed feeling good, but also like I'm kind of in this space where it's like there's a lot to do, but it isn't necessarily super time consuming, if that makes sense. So for instance, woke up this morning, there were 17 things on my to-do list. I think I've been up for about 90 minutes, and I think I have 3 things left to do. So definitely things that could move through very quickly. And I think that's really the beauty of the process that I found that works for me, is that when something comes to mind to do, I put it in my phone so that I don't forget it, and I give it a time, give it a destination, whatever, that allows me to actually be present. And so last night, even though I had a very full day, after dinner, I got to sit outside and watch my hummingbirds. And I actually shared that video on my Instagram Reels. I say my hummingbirds, they're not mine, but we do have 5 hummingbirds that show up, and 2 of the males were there last night, and they were just chirping at each other. And it was just a great reminder that how far I've come in my ability to actually be present, because there was a time where I couldn't actually sit still. I couldn't be present. I couldn't have a conversation and fully be there because I was so concerned about all the other things that I had to do, all the other things that were going on, the constant checklist that was happening, that was always running in the back of my mind. And last night, as I watched my hummingbirds, it was really just it was really kind of a celebration to say, you know what, you are you're doing so well, right? Because oftentimes I really don't give myself the credit for that. I feel like I'm constantly pushing to the next thing and not necessarily paying attention to how far I've come. And it was just really nice to sit out there last night, aside from the mosquitoes that started to come after me. But to just sit there and watch the hummingbirds chirp and talk to each other, and just, they're just amazing little creatures. I don't know what it is about being in your 40s where you're all of a sudden obsessed with birds. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know why it happened. But I am fully obsessed with my hummingbirds. I look forward to their return every year. And last year, I believe we just had 3. And this year, we've had as many as 5. And the only reason I know that is because we had 5 of them around the feeder at once, because they're near impossible to distinguish from each other. And so we had 3 males and 2 females was what we had. And they're just so fun to watch. So, but life is going well. It is full for sure. I do know that I am in desperate need of a beach day, and so that's happening this week. I haven't been to the beach this summer, which is like super cringe because I live so close to the beach. We just have been loving our pool. It's been, I think today is actually a year that we've had our pool. That was a long journey to get to, and one that I absolutely love. And again, one of those life things where I turn it into a life lesson and a deep story that is just who I am. And maybe that's exhausting to some people, but I can find a lesson in just about everything. I'm a deep thinker, and I can be an overthinker, but a deep thinker and an overthinker are 2 different things. I am just so fascinated with how things connect and how things play out and what it all means. And the connection to self, and yeah, just a deep thinker. I could go there all day long with people. Not everybody wants to go there. A lot of people don't want to hang out there because it can be scary in that zone where you actually have to face yourself. But I do find that the growth absolutely comes when we aren't afraid of ourselves. And now that we've gone there, my mind is going, well, when did we decide that we were afraid of ourselves? It's not so much, for me, it's not so much it is actually, no, we're going to call it a fear of, I think the biggest one, well, no, I know this for a fact, because there was a couple years ago, it was probably 4 years ago now, went to Mexico with our best friends. My husband and I did a couple's trip to Mexico, and we did a cave tour, whatever it was, and it was actually really quite cool. But we ended up partway through this cave tour, we ended up in like the middle of this cave where it was the darkest dark you have ever seen. And when we were in there, our guide had said, okay, we're going to turn off all the lights, so get yourself comfortable. We're standing in water, my husband and I were standing on a rock together, and our tour guide said, just so you know, like when we turn off all the lights, generally speaking, your deepest fear will show up. And I thought, huh, this is really interesting. Like, I'm totally on board for this. Let's see what comes up. And I didn't really know what to expect when all the lights went off. But of course, like dark, 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 like you can't even see your hand in front of your face, kind of dark. And because you're in the earth. Like you're there's no light. And the fear that came up was a life not lived. And I thought that is so interesting. And so I am one of those people who is trying to squeeze everything that I can out of every single day. And a lot of that is the depth of the day. Yesterday, again, it was a full day, and I did not listen to the radio at all. I didn't listen to a podcast. I didn't listen to a YouTube. While I was in the car for, I think I ended up being in the car for about 3 hours yesterday. It was just me and my thoughts. And I think I really just needed that clearing space to just kind of let the thoughts go and leave it alone and be okay. And um, because I don't feel like I get kind of that emptiness very often. Um, there's always something running through that brain. Always. And sometimes it's exhausting, to be quite frank. So, all right. Well, that is that. Life is going well. Life is going well. I am looking forward to closing out some of these projects for real estate, and also realizing that we're about midway through July, and I did realize that the last week specifically, I don't really even know what I did last week. I definitely wasn't present enough, and so this is my reminder to be a bit more present. I apologize for the the blinkingness in my eye. The sun is now beaming directly into one eye on my video here, so I am feeling a little bit blinded, but that's okay. It's still quiet. My kids are still asleep, so I'm so glad that I was able to tune in and record these videos and connect with you. If you are interested in working with me, this is something that I articulated well on the last episode. I help you bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be, whether that's in life or business, whether it's this crazy vision that you have. I help you bridge that gap and actually make it a reality. So if that's something that you're interested in doing soon, I do have spots available for private clients. Only doing private clients right now, and not many of them because, well, I do have full days. As an entrepreneur, couple of businesses, wife, mom, all the things. So being cautious of my time, not cautious, being intentional with my time. Couple of private clients will be coming on board, and I'm excited for the shifts that will happen. So if you're feeling called to that, please reach out. I would love to have a conversation with you and see how I can help you bridge that gap. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.